Welcome back to the Unfiltered
Filtered
Femmes.
Yes. We have a juicy episode for you tonight, guys.
We really do. And I feel like it's going to be long too.
Yes.
Because we have a lot to cover.
We have a lot to cover. So we might have a little bit of technical difficulties, but we will keep you up to speed and up to date. So.
No, we're going to leave them in the dirt.
Slay.
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about our middle school that we went to.
Middle school experience.
We're going to cover just people from our hometown kind of again, but this time it's more about middle school life and what we dealt with through it.
I mean, we could start on how we reacquainted when we moved from Jersey.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So we basically we met years ago, 2004 or 5. And we kind of lost contact, and then our moms found each other.
Yeah.
Got in contact, and we ended up going to the same school, which is Prospect Ridge Academy. If you Prospect Ridge Academy, you see this, big F you. Ain't nobody like you. Nobody likes
Fuck you.
That school was racist, disgusting, homophobic, transphobic, all of the phobics, and sexist, fucking all of it.
Yep.
But we basically met in Miss Talbot's class.
Mm-hmm. Which was our teacher. We were both on an IEP. And for people who don't know that,
we're dumb. Okay, no, you a businesswoman.
Well, no, I was it was mainly for math for me.
Same.
And we both were in this class because at Prospect Ridge Academy, it was only basically for smart people. So this class that we were in literally only had 4 people in it.
Yeah. Because
their main grab towards people were smart kids.
Yeah.
So
or rich.
So me and Sam, we kind of just connected off of that because I feel like me and you were on the same humor level.
Definitely. We'll talk about some people, but you weren't like any other person I've met.
Same,
and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, I think that kind of shaped us to who we are today a little bit. Because that school was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
Literally, the two of us had to go through the same stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, we basically just started connecting, and me and Sam became really close. Yeah. But the thing is, me and her had separate friend groups as well. So
I use the word friend group loosely.
So I was friends from the beginning I was with Liz.
I was friends with I kind of moved around.
Yeah, you did.
I really wasn't in one group, and then I don't know. It got the term pushover. That is ingrained. Okay, that's when I started becoming a major pushover, fucking token black friend at the fucking school. She was eating that up like crazy. Everybody in that friend group, except for a certain amount of people, Olivia and I think Alyssa Alders.
Yeah.
Those two were chill.
Yeah.
Everybody else. Mm-mm.
Yeah, when we were friends with these people, and there was moments where Sam would join my friend group with them, and it would be fine. And then I didn't really talk to Haley as much.
Lucky girl. Lucky girl.
So yeah, long story short, from the beginning, I was friends with this girl named Liz, and we were friends for probably 3 years, 2 years?
Yeah.
2 years. And we were really fucking close, and it got to the point where me and her were a little too close. I don't even know if I should talk about this, because outing her.
I mean, it's up to you, really.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not gonna get into detail.
No.
So basically, me and Liz had some lesbian things happening with each other.
Oh, well, because I got to be friends with Liz, and then we started dating. She was my beard. Anyway. But all at the same time, Em and Liz were like doing things.
I was doing things with Liz while Sam and her were dating, and
Em was doing the dirty work, and I used that very heavily. I'm so mean.
Yeah, so we were kind of just, I was doing that with her, and I don't really want to go into detail because, like, I want to respect her privacy and everything, even though I don't even know who she is anymore and where she's at, but, it's only fair, but, yeah, we had some relations going on, and I think it was just, like, also, we were, like, really horny teenagers and trying to discover ourselves.
Girl, my porn addiction, real.
Exactly. So like, and that's how it was for me, like finding out like if I actually like girls or not. So I feel like when I had it in front of me, I was like, okay, like
experiment.
Yeah, like let me do it.
Her.
So that happened, and Sam was like on and off with her.
Justin and Selena. Anyway, so basically, did I ask her out?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, Slay. Look at me, being more gentlemanly than any other real man out there. So, anyway, basically, we were like dating for like, I don't know, like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then things just didn't work out. But like, I feel like we were like kind of friends, like on and off.
Yeah.
Because you had to like get us to like talk to each other.
Right.
Like, I'm being Miss Therapist over here.
Sure.
If y'all know the Orchard too, that's like one of the meetups there. It was so funny, like off topic but funny. We went to the Orchard a lot, and if you guys remember the Red Mango being in the place of Hot Topic there,
oh God,
Em dragged me to the Red Mango, and Liz was there, and I was like, "What is she doing here?"
I like tricked Sam to go, like so we can all be friends.
Make up, whatever. I don't know. Off topic from like Prospect Ridge,
yeah.
But that was just like one of the things, and then like we dated again. I was a little man whore back in the day. I was dating that Mackenzie girl,
Horsey,
Miss Horsey herself. She was like a horse girl, and it was like crazy. I asked her out, and okay, we're gonna talk about the teachers too. I asked her out in Miss Bucktel's class, if y'all remember her. If any of you PRA readers are listening, or listeners are listening.
It was history class.
It was history class, social studies, or whatever the fuck it was called. I asked her out during social studies class. Why? No clue. Did we do anything? Absolutely not. Did we even kiss?
Well, okay.
Absolutely not.
That's the thing with PRA too. I feel like everybody was so like they would switch each other, or like share each other.
It's giving like cult.
Like
that school was a cult.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
And then they almost like treated it like a game of like when people would like ask each other out. Like it was like.
Can we talk about the PRA match accounts?
That too.
We'll get into that.
I swear to God, every fucking week it'd be like a new thing.
No, literally, that school. It was a nightmare there.
Was a nightmare.
I got treated like shit. So did you. I wasn't really like. So 6th grade, I wasn't really like knowing who I was, and people were making fun of me for like being gay or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no clue what that meant. Not a care in the world. Did not care. Like it did hurt, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Because I did know what that meant at some point in time.
Right.
But then I like I don't know. It's just like people like really didn't see me as a person, more as like a commodity or like an asset to them. Because they're like, I'm not racist, Sam's my friend, blah 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 blah.
Right.
You know, like, and no, you know, racism, nobody really knew what that meant probably in 6th grade. I mean, I knew what it meant.
Well, especially at that school.
Fucking that school. Like,
it was majority
white.
Yeah.
Like, that school was like prep kids, preppy. Oh, I live in Anthem. Like
if
blah,
you
blah,
didn't,
blah, blah.
if you didn't have rich parents and have a mountain house, you weren't fitting in.
No.
And I feel like that's why me and Sam like kind of like we got along so well, because I kind of felt that way too in the school, and like everybody knew like my parents like always were fighting with the teachers because of me, or like
same here.
like I was always getting in trouble for like weird shit, like I dress code and fucking I was literally getting dress coded like every single day, and I don't know why, because I had
every other curves. Girl got away with it,
and I had more curves than a lot of other girls at that school, so like they were really coming at me because of it. And I'll never forget this one time too. I want to talk about this real quick, but I remember I totally forgot about this, but on my Instagram I posted a picture of like me and Danielle, I think, and because I know Danielle like kind of had that problem too, like because she had more like thicker thighs, and, you know, and bigger boobs, and I put something on my Instagram saying like, oh, like I hate like how people treat us like differently because we hit puberty or something, something along those lines, right? And Hannah, she DM'd me and was like, you're being such a like, not a pick-me, but you know, back then she said something along the lines of being a pick-me, and she was saying like, oh, like you just think what was me, blah blah blah, like you shouldn't be like writing stuff like this on Instagram, like just because like you have like good genetics, like, and you're bragging about it.
Okay, Snapchat and Instagram back then too were rampant, like violent,
like the bullying was so insane. Crazy,
and like Vine too, like, well, wait, Vines anyway. No, all of that stuff was like just so bad, so bad.
And like that shit like that, for example, like what I was saying, like with you know, that Instagram post, for instance, like I know like I was kind of deep down like going through like that bullying. It was like not bullying, but it was like minor like remarks from people, like with Kayla, like shit like that. Like I don't know, I just felt like everybody was coming at us for like looks, or like how we were,
sexuality, looks.
And me and you were also like, we had that personality where like we don't care.
We
really say don't. Whatever is on our mind.
I said I had no filter, none. I literally told I literally told the teacher she had a hairy vagina, and then she tried sending me out to the office, and I was like, "Is it because I'm black?" So I got to use reparations anyway. No, there was no reparations. The school was fucking terrible. But I literally had no filter, and neither did she, and we got picked on for it because we weren't holier than thou, fucking Christian freak, fucking, you know, like just like anything like that,
right?
Because half the people that went there were like Christian, fucking Mormon, fucking whatever.
Well, and like that's another thing that like really kind of pisses me off, because I was still dealing with this stuff like not now, but maybe like 4 years ago. But like PRA people would like reach out to me, and like they would always talk about how like I was a slut.
Yeah.
And like I stopped going to that school in 8th grade,
and I stopped going in 7th, and
they were still talking about us.
Yeah, no, they stay obsessed. I feel like because we got like hotter,
right?
We got hotter.
We did. So we want to talk a little bit about like the faculty there, because that was also a big part of like me and Sam going through like that minor bullying and you know, this kind of stuff. You went through the ringer with Mr. Eiton.
Oh my god. To anybody that liked that fucking school counselor, you're weird. I'm sorry. Like, you're weird and fucking, it's crazy. And that Miss High bitch. But Mr. Eiton was mainly my main issue, because I was going through suicidal issues, end of 6th grade, beginning of 7th grade. And I had hygienic issues as a kid. A lot of kids did. But he made it to where it was like it was literally bullying.
Yeah.
And I was going through suicidal stuff because I didn't know why, like, I like boys, like men. And I was like, why do I like this? I tried praying the gay away, tried doing all that stuff. My parents weren't on my side at that point. So I did contemplate suicide multiple times, and I attempted it in early 7th grade, like early, like you know, like late 2015, like 2014, whatever.
Yeah.
And he brought me into the office to talk to me, and I thought it was like follow up on like me being like suicidal because I told him I was suicidal.
Right.
And he was like, Sam, you stink. And I literally there was months where I went to school for like maybe an hour. And then my mom would come get me. An hour, tops. You know.
Yeah.
And same with you.
Yeah.
I used to go to school and then not go to school and then go to school, get picked up early. And he was like, Sam, you stink. So I was like, wow. I straight up said, wow, you're really helping my suicidal tendencies. Thank you.
What's the hair? Goddamn, cut!
Right, and fuck you. Like, like basic stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
great, you want to like help my suicide more? You're going to have a dead student on your hand. Anyway, I'm still here. Everything's fine.
Thankfully.
But, well, no, I'm kidding.
No, I love you.
I love you too. But it's just like stuff I didn't know about myself, and like that just him being a faculty member is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's still there.
I think so.
Well, Mr. Aiton, you should really fucking not be there.
Yeah, because my experience with Mr. Aiton was also kind of similar. Obviously, not suicide, but I was constantly going in there because we had a lot of drama between like our friend groups, and we were constantly getting sent in there.
There was a point where I just said I'm not going.
Me too, and I'm pretty sure Danielle said no too. But we were literally getting sent in there like once a week because of someone's feelings got hurt, and it was the most annoying fucking thing. And I got sent in there also a few times for dress code.
Of course.
To talk about that. And I'm pretty sure Miss Farrow, which we will talk about her, she was our vice principal.
And then she was full principal at some point, right?
She was the principal for middle school, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And we will get into her, but she was constantly sending me to him as well, and just talking about like, I don't know. I don't even know like why we were getting sent in there.
Girl, me neither.
Like, what was the point? Because we would literally just sit in there and like not even talk about anything. It was just like them like
it was useless.
It was so useless. So
I remember going in from the playground a lot too.
That too.
Like during recess or whatever.
Yeah. Which like that's our free time. Like you shouldn't be sending us into like, a counselor.
I remember she'd like pull me out of class because I academically sound there. No. Not really. I mean, like I had some good grades there, but I did not feel like going there, so no. I did not feel like completing the work.
No.
So I would get sent out of whatever club or extracurricular activity I was doing there and being put in like the academic support or whatever the case. But she's like, you're failing, you're never going to make it anywhere, and
yeah, they would treat me and Sam differently because like of our learning disabilities, and it was really fucking wrong.
It was so wrong. It was so difficult to navigate that. I still kind of have trauma from that.
Me too. I don't know, like shit like that. They would pull us out in front of everybody else, like in the normal classes, and embarrass us and be like, you have to get sent to another class because you have a learning disability. They've done that to me straight up. I've also wasn't able to get a lunch with all my friends.
No,
they sent me to the principal's office for every single lunch.
Well, then they put you in like the grade below.
Yeah,
insane. And this is after I left. And what do they do? Like, I remember just being excluded from so many things.
They would treat you like a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't learn a certain way.
Yeah.
And it was fucking bullshit. And I also wanted to touch on this. Like, their faculty there, they hated the kids.
100%.
Like, for instance, I remember one time, it was like December, okay? We lived in Colorado, and Colorado winters,
it gets cold.
It's like negatives.
Yeah.
And
they still send us outside for fucking recess. They make us wait outside before the school fucking opened.
The amount of parents that emailed them to complain about that, and they still were continuously doing it, to the point where I'm pretty sure they had a petition made And they finally made a petition for the recess thing.
Yeah.
And then they sent us to the fucking gym. And then at one point, it wasn't even in the gym. It was like in a hallway.
Yeah.
They made us just like sit in the hallway, and they had like a few like frisbees.
Not frisbees.
like shit like that. There was also a time, like I remember in the beginning of the school year, like I think this was 5th grade, but which Sam wasn't there, but there was no lunchroom. There was no lunchroom for us. So they would make us sit in the fucking gym and
Absolutely
eat.
Not.
The sweaty gym.
On the sweaty, gross gym floors that they probably never clean.
To eat our lunch.
That's disgusting.
Like, don't open up a fucking school if you can't be prepared on where you're going to send your students. Because that's so fucking unprofessional. And also, it was a charter school. Do you know how much money they're making off of those kids?
And they're still I did my research before we decided to do this episode. They're wanting donations. Aren't they getting tuition money?
They get
I swear,
money.
because you said like either it was paying tuition or going on a wait list.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I think I went on the wait list and somehow got into that school. Don't know why, don't know how. Didn't ask to go to that school. Never did, but if I didn't, I wouldn't have seen you again.
Yeah.
So that like things happen for a reason. But they have donation for what? They have iMacs as their computers in the computer lab. They use brand new iPads. They literally have everything, but they need more money? And then they built a high school.
Yeah.
They built a fucking high school.
Yeah.
Thank God I never went to high school there. I would have probably literally lost my mind or committed suicide.
Girl.
Literally.
Well, and then this is another thing, like, kind of bouncing off what we were talking about before with the dress code, is that I find it weird how there was a dress code for kindergarten to 8th grade. You had to wear khakis, black pants, or a collared shirt. Once you got to high school, you could wear blank t-shirts and, like, jeans.
Which is still like a dress code, like.
But why was it more lenient for the high school students if they were gonna fucking? So which makes me wonder.
It's giving like
they're fucking being predatory towards the kids.
100%,
and making them cover up more.
Yeah, and then the teenagers,
right?
Free reign, because the teachers there. Some of those teachers are nasty.
There was multiple people who've gotten arrested for fucking touching and Snapchatting fucking kids. There was also fucking Mr. Maxwell. I'm gonna say his fucking name. Fucking gawking at all the girls, talking about.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so we had health class, which again, how did that health class even pass any sort of like? How did that like not get a violation or like a flag? I have no idea. But we were in health class and they split up the boys and the girls.
Yeah.
And I'm a trans woman now, but I was male back then. Obviously, like still like. Born male, whatever, not part of the point. So they divided us up and they took us to a different room. Mr. Maxwell thought it would be a grand idea to talk to a bunch of minors about masturbating. He literally went into full detail. It was disgusting. Was never more horrified in my life. And I already knew what this was. I've been watching porn in 3rd grade.
So I was laughing.
But to hear it from a faculty member, a teacher.
Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. Especially going into detail.
Into detail. He's like, you're going to massage this and touch that and you're going to feel good and stimulate it. And I'm like, fuck. What the fuck? It's absolutely horrid. It's disgusting.
And he was a science teacher. He was not a fucking doctor.
No.
Because I think for the girls one, for 7th grade, they had an actual gynecologist come in. Like, they sent in a gyno to talk about it.
They have the money to do that.
Right.
But apparently not for men. And why is he talking about masturbating to a bunch of minors who are in 7th grade?
And also, can we take a moment? I think I had health class all 3 years of middle school there.
Really?
Why did they have health class? Because we learned about periods in 6th grade. 7th grade, they had the gyno come in. And then 8th grade, we had Miss Puccio.
Yeah.
Which is the history teacher.
Yeah, okay, like, that's another thing. Like, why are they dividing up fucking teachers like that?
And, like, why are they talking about, like, sex ed, like, 3 times?
3 times. I had health class that time, and then in Westlake, because I switched in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make sure all my things were covered before going into high school or, like, whatever, continuing on to the next grade. And, but, like, for that to happen, but they didn't go into full detail, except what's weird is how they show, like, well, I guess it's kind of normal, like, showing birthing videos.
Yeah, that's normal.
That's one thing. But talking about masturbation...
Yeah, that's
totally out of line.
Yeah.
Insane. And I'm all for, like, sexual expression, but not at a minor age.
Yeah.
Like, that's disgusting.
I feel like that'd be more comfortable talking about, like, that to a high schooler. Like, even if it got brought up, let's just say.
Yeah.
But to middle schoolers?
Middle school boys who are hormonal.
That's crazy. And
so it brings all these ideas into boys' heads, and it's insane to me. And I was just sitting in the back of the classroom horrified. And I remember exactly who was in that class, too. I remember every person that was in that class. Well, almost every person. But it was just not.
Well, yeah, and so that kind of just... We wanted to talk about that a little bit, like how the teachers there, it's just... They literally hire anybody.
Like Miss Sandgren.
And they're all... Like, it just makes me wonder what kind of shady shit is going on under, like, everything.
Yeah.
With, like, sexualizing the kids there.
Yeah.
Fucking money grabbing. Shit like that.
Yeah.
So... I don't fucking know.
And can we talk about the fucking name for the school?
Prospect Ridge?
Yeah, well, can we talk about, like, their mascot name?
Oh, the Miners?
The fucking Miners. Why would you call that? Like, Prospect Ridge Academy? What part has the word minor in it? Like, there's, like, I get prospector, but you should have been called the Prospectors.
Which is giving more, like, minor. Like...
Yeah, literally. Like... And it was an anthem, and we all know what goes on in Anthem.
Swingers
galore. Like, not shaming.
No.
But, like, for a school.
But these
like
were
that,
grown women, fucking families, fucking cheating on their fucking husbands and shit. Like, this is the type of fucking area we used to live in. It was just very, like, rich and, like...
Rich and privileged
and fucking just weird shit going on 24/7. If you were a person of color, you were totally fucking put on the back burner.
Uh-huh.
Fucking, it just was not good. It was not it.
I want to get into more of, like, how the teachers, like, treated us individually.
Yeah.
Miss Sandgren, she was the 7th grade science teacher. And this was other teachers, too, like Miss Bucktel, Miss Skira. If any of you know who I'm talking about, you'll know.
Yeah.
But they would always take my phone away. Mm-hmm. Always. Everybody else had their phone out. But because of my grades, they thought they had the right to take my phone away.
Right.
And my mom, at this time, she's 64. She's going to be 64. So she had a lot of health issues. And I had to have my phone on me at all times. And they were like, well, she can call 911. My dad is a working man. He's still working now. He is in his 70s.
Yeah.
He was working his ass off trying to pay off bills and stuff for, like, medical bills and all that stuff. He should have retired years ago and didn't. And he did take a brief break from work, like, for, like, 4 years.
Yeah.
But then went right back into it. And he's still doing it.
Yeah.
But somebody needed to have a phone on them.
Right.
At all times.
Right.
And every time I would check my phone or my phone would ring or whatever the case, every teacher would take my phone away and be like, you can't get it back till the end of the day. And it got to a point where I was sick and tired of it. I went right up to the teacher's desk and took the phone back. They were like, well, you can't have it. It's not yours. I'm like, it is my fucking phone. You're not paying my phone bill. It's my phone.
Right.
And like I said, everybody else would have their phone out. It'd be fine.
I remember you going through that, like, specifically.
Nobody got their phone taken away except me.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, maybe if you just pay attention more in class. That's not the problem.
Yeah. It's not like you were on your phone, like, gaming and stuff.
No, I literally have maybe, like, a whole of, like, one game on my phone now. Same then. If anything, it was porn.
Thanks, Mr. Maxwell.
Ew, no, I am not thanking him for that. Absolutely not.
I'm kidding.
But it was mainly like music and stuff to keep me focused. And Miss Talbot didn't care.
No.
She knew we had like ADHD and like other things going on.
Yeah.
She knew, she was like, if you need to find a way to focus, do it.
Right.
Music was my thing. Drawing was my thing. Like all that stuff was my thing. And other teachers did not get it. And that goes kind of hand in hand with learning disability.
Right.
Because nobody communicated about anything.
No.
And then if they did, they'd put us out on the spot in front of everyone.
Yep.
I didn't want people to know.
They would announce it like in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
You're on an IEP, so you need to be in this class. Towards senior year, I did not care. Because I had a good coordinator.
but still, though, like when we're in a middle school that's already fucking like
Stigmatizing as hell.
and everyone's smart, you already feel like an outcast, and the teachers are fucking walking into your classrooms being like, you come with me because you're not smart enough, blah blah blah, like shit like that. It's like, okay, like,
Can you tell time? Yes, I
oh
can
my God.
fucking tell time.
And that was another thing. Like, me and her were both on IEPs, and like obviously there's different levels of an IEP as well.
But they put us on like the lowest.
They literally were teaching us time in like fucking 7th grade.
And spelling. I know how to fucking spell. Like, girl.
I remember they sent me to speech therapy too.
Same. They tried getting me into
And
speech therapy.
my mom was like,
My
no.
mom refused it.
Yeah.
I already had speech therapy as a kid. I don't need it now. Or, no. But, like,
Well,
I didn't
then,
need
yeah.
it then. I can talk. I can walk. I was
Yeah.
saying every curse word in the book. I'm fine. But it got to a point where my mom marched in with advocates on my side. Well, I don't know. Like, whatever. She marched in with, like, IEP specialists. Was like, you're not fucking teaching my kid the right stuff. I would have learned whole different things had it gone well.
Yeah.
Miss Talbot was the only good teacher
Yeah.
that actually did her job
Yeah.
and made sure we got where we needed to be.
Yeah.
And that was like my favorite class. Like,
yeah.
block classes with her was
I
amazing.
know.
It was peaceful. It was quiet. There was no chaos. There was no bullying. There was no fucking rich white people fucking running rampant in that class.
No.
And I think the size of that class helped a lot. It was me and you and 2 other people.
Yeah. And we were doing really good.
We were doing great. I got straight A's.
Yeah.
And one perk about IEPs is they either push our projects to be done, like they complete them for us,
Yeah.
or they'd like give us extra time,
Right.
or they would literally give us the answer key
Yeah.
for tests.
No, literally.
Slay on that.
But like that shit like that though, they would make it known for everybody that we had to have those specialty
Things.
Yeah.
Especially during like, what was it? The park testing?
Yes. So, we were in this class and she had us all put our heads down on the table.
It's like
Turn the
she
lights.
was like a warden.
She turned Oh yeah, it's dead. She turned the lights off and started going down this whole rampage of how we are never going to make it in life, how we're never going to go to school, how we are all how we're all just fucking dumb, how like literally every negative thing you could say to a child, she said it. And she had so many emails that night from parents being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So she was just an evil ass woman. She would fucking constantly pick on me and Sam. She was making me do her dirty work. I remember on lunch she would like send me around and like zip tie lockers and like fucking yeah, she would like make me mop the floors too. Yeah, she was fucking crazy.
It's giving like it's straight up giving like what is the word? Child abuse.
It's child,
one,
yeah.
but it's like child work abuse too.
Yeah.
Or like something like along those lines.
Yeah, we had a lot of issues with Miss Farrell. And it got to the point where like my parents also got involved and they were going to the school constantly and being like, you guys need to fucking fix your shit, like who the fuck are you hiring? And it'd just be a constant, we'll fix it. And then it would go back to normal a week later. And I know I briefly mentioned it before, but they sent me down a so it was like 8th grade lunch, 7th grade lunch, 6th grade lunch, and it was all different periods. And I was in 8th grade at the time, and they sent me to 7th grade lunch because I was on an IEP. You're gonna send a kid with learning disabilities to a different grade's lunch only because I have a fucking learning disability? How does that fucking make sense?
It's not even a disability, it's just learning differently.
Literally. So
IEP means individual education plan. And there's no disability behind it. Yeah. We just learn differently. Yeah. And we are hella street smart. Period. So, you need a wig done? You need a wig installed? I got you. You need your hair braided? I got you. You need makeup applied? I'm still learning that one. But, like, they would treat us like dumbasses.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. But, you know, it's just annoying.
And the faculty there, it was just not it. And I'm sure, I know that nothing really has changed by the looks of their reviews today.
Girl, I scrolled through Google reviews, and a lot of them were, like, from, like, recent, like, you know, like, alumni. And, of course, there was, like, the pick-me's that were like, this school is great. It's a college prep school, blah, blah, blah. So you can't get mad at the school. No, I can get mad at the school. Everybody can get mad at the school. It's literally not a college prep. It's literally fucking prison at that point. I hated going there. I hated being a part of everybody there. One person I want to talk about, too, is Miss Francis, the nurse.
Let's talk about her.
But does she have a degree?
Probably not.
They're probably just hiring random people off the streets. And I feel bad for the only black man. And of course, you know what his job position was? Janitor. He was a janitor.
The only
black faculty member was a janitor. Take that into account, okay? And then me, and then a couple other students, but they were hella smart. So, like, what the fuck? But so, you know, to get out of school, I had to play it good. And a lot of the times I wasn't feeling well because I was on new medication for, like, ADHD. So my hormones and my feelings and all that stuff were all over the place. Yeah. I was like a robot every day when I was on fucking Adderall, and I did not want to be there, and I was not feeling good. I was not up to anything. So what did I do? I'd go down to the nurse, and she'd be like, it got to a point where she was like, fine. And then towards the end of it, she was like, you're fine. Go back upstairs. This was the one day. So I was not feeling good. I felt like shit. I threw up before going to school. Mom was like, we'll give it an hour, whatever. Text me whenever. And, you know, this, of course, goes into my phone being taken away, too. Because, of course, I called my mom to come get me, to get my fucking phone back. And so I feel like everybody was in cahoots.
Yeah.
Because I'd go downstairs and they'd be like, she just wants her phone back. Yes, I want my fucking phone back. Are you kidding me? But I was really feeling like shit this day. So I went down to the nurse's office. I did have my phone on me. And she's like, you're fine. Go back upstairs. I was coughing up blood this day, too. And my mom picked me up, fucking screamed at the nurse. I remember. So I went into the office, because, like, it's weird. So you have to go through a set of doors and then go on the other side, like a prison. It's literally like a prison. Because all the doors were locked. And so, except the entrance into the main office.
Okay. I still have nightmares about those doors.
Same. The locking noise. The
What's funny is my dad installed those doors because he has a lock company and he's the one that fucking installed them.
Girl. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm readjusting my wig. Not my hair, guys. Okay. Anyway. So basically, I go up to instead of going back to my class, I went into the bathroom. I sat in there for about 20 minutes. And I was on the phone with my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm really not feeling well. And my mom was like, okay, I'll come get you. So she walks in and mistakenly goes, Sam called me. And the nurse got up from her seat, was like, your kid's not allowed to have her phone in class. I don't know why she's calling you. And my mom straight up lost it. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was. My mom cussed this nurse out, I think. She doesn't like to admit she did, but I think she did. But it was along the lines of, maybe if you did your fucking job, we wouldn't be in this mess. And everybody, class, peers, faculty, everybody knew not to fuck with my mom. And so my mom picks me up, takes me home. She's like, if you're not feeling well, wake me up and we'll go to the emergency room whenever you need to go. I wake up at like 3 a.m. Mom's like, okay, we're going to the emergency room. And it was the Children's Hospital on like Highway 7 right by Prospect Ridge Academy. They did a scan on me and they did tests. I had walking pneumonia. Walking pneumonia. Not a cold, not a flu, fucking pneumonia. She sent me back upstairs saying I was fine. I was sweating. I straight up was about to faint. I was literally feeling like throwing up like every 2 seconds. I don't know what the symptoms are of walking pneumonia now, but it's gotta be one of them. And yeah, so, and then another kid broke his leg, and I heard she didn't do anything about that either. And it just makes me wonder, who are these people hiring?
Well, and it was mainly the kids that had learning disabilities that weren't able to get sent home because they were going to the nurse and they were sick.
And a lot of us needed mental health days. Okay, I don't know where we left off. And hopefully it doesn't die. But the day we went to school, I wanted to leave. And my mom went in and was sent up to Miss Verreau. So my mom went upstairs, got sent to Miss Verreau's office. I remember that office too, the corner by the stairs in the library. That is so triggering for me. Mm-hmm. That school is so triggering for me. Same. But she went upstairs, and I was waiting in the car, and Miss Verreau apparently was like, your kid can't leave school anymore. They're on truancy. And my mom was like wanting to send me back in because she just didn't know what to do. But she looked at me because I was crying. I was literally bawling my eyes out. I was like, I can't do this. And so I went in. So she runs outside. She's like, start the car, start the car, start the car. I was like, what? What's going on? She's like, you got threatened with truancy, but I'm not letting you go in there after how I saw you were acting. And we left. And they kept being on us about it. And same thing, was not going to school. And that kind of brings me back to like Miss Francis being like, she was a part of the bullying with me and the hygiene too. Because I'd go back into like any class crying. And did anybody care? Obviously not. Did anybody who I thought were my friends care? No. But it was just terrible. And they treated everyone who had a disability or was different like crap. And I can't speak for everybody who was in like high school or anything. I don't know what your experiences are like, but I'm assuming a lot of people felt the same way. So,
well, yeah, like I was saying before, with my truancy thing, I wasn't actually really missing school, and they actually got caught with that because my parents were like, listen, you guys sent us a truancy letter, and they had the proof of me actually not missing school. It was like for legitimate reasons because I had health issues at the time. And also my mom was taking me out of school too because I was in like a lot of I was like in dance classes and stuff, and I was in cheer, so like I had to leave early sometimes because I had stuff to do. And they did the same thing. They sent me to Miss Verreau's office with my mom, and same kind of shit happened, and I was crying as well. And it was the same shit. My mom was like, you guys are saying all of this stuff and it's not true. Like, I don't know what to do. And they wiped mine because my mom came with the facts.
They wiped mine too.
And that's
my mom
what
brought in all the doctor's notes and stuff that I had.
That's what my mom did too. And when we went, that's why I continued to go for 8th grade. But my mom knew, like, she was like, you know, this school's fucking crazy. Like, do you want to stay? And I mainly stayed because I had friends.
Yeah.
And I was scared to go to a new school, so I was like, let me just wait until high school starts. But I had similar issues with like Miss Francis as well, like with her, like, I don't know. I feel like also I've heard this from another friend that went there, but I'm not gonna link out them or anything. But when it came to periods, there was no tampons or pads in the bathroom.
I noticed that.
There was.
I went into the women's restrooms like a couple times when I was there. There was nothing in the boxes. No tampons.
So they would make you go down to the nurse Francis and get them from her, and she would like bully you about it. Because I remember there was like a time that I needed a pad. Like, you know, I'm a fucking 6th grader. I'm gonna need a pad. And I went down to the nurse, and she literally was like lecturing me because I had my period. Like, I felt like I didn't feel like a woman because like the way she was making me feel because I asked for a pad, it like was embarrassing for her.
Yeah.
And you know, just based off of my experience that happened, and like another girl that I know that happened to as well, I can imagine what she was doing to other girls that were dealing with menstrual cycles, fucking making them feel like shit because they had that. Like, what
Didn't this menopause bitch have fucking
literally
too?
So like shit like that, it was just like fucking weird. But yeah, I don't, and it's, like we were saying before, like with the whole health classes, you would think that they would be more open than
they didn't teach us anything to prepare us for real life.
No.
Or college. They didn't do any of that.
No.
And if they did, they were like, you can't ask permission to go to the bathroom. Like, they're going to make you sit through all the lectures. Everybody I know who's went to college just gets up and goes to the bathroom as an adult because we're adults.
They were constantly threatening the stupidest shit that would make us scared. And now I'm sure a lot of other people have trauma because of it too. Because I definitely fucking still have nightmares about PRA and like fucking just everyone there. It was just so like cliquey. Like I can't even like I just never felt like I fit in. Nobody was fucking nice. You had to have money, and it was just so fucking annoying. Like every day it was a new fucking thing.
I was telling, okay, I'm gonna out this bitch. I was telling Kylie Freeze and Haley Schalk about, I don't know, I was like, oh, my parents are getting a new car. They're like, don't you need to have a lot of money to have a new car? And I was like, my dad makes like, he's an aerospace engineer. He was making hella at this time. He just put his money towards different things. And he still does. But I was like, what does that have to do? And then they were like, aren't your parents like black? Or I swear that's what they said. Or Kylie Freeze or whatever. I swear that's what she said. And I was like, what does it matter? Like in my head, I was thinking that. I was like, no, my parents are white. But like, what does that matter?
Yeah.
Like, this is how bad it got. And it got to the point where people were laughing at me and teasing me all the way up until like 8th grade. Because I want to talk about the fucking Andrew kid. There's this kid named Andrew. And he always had some sort of jab at me, along with the rest of the school. But so apparently there's like an assembly. You were there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate?
So there was an assembly that happened. This was in 8th grade. Sam left by then. Sam left after 7th grade. And there was this kid, Andrew. We're all sitting around, and I think Andrew was like on the student council or something, so like he had to like yeah, I know. And so he like was like on the stage, right? And
he was on stage?
He was like sorry,
I know it's just because he looked like an idiot and I wasn't there. It's giving obsession. It's giving crush. I used to wear the salmon shirt.
Yeah, so Sammy.
If any of y'all know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
There was a salmon color collared shirt, okay? And Andrew decides to run around the fucking stage and screams, Sam shirt, Sam shirt, Sam shirt, and everyone just starts laughing. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck?
And the people that are actually probably like friendly with me, they were probably the same way.
Oh, 100%.
Well, except, like the fake bitches. But like I'm talking about like everybody who was genuine, like Alyssa Alders probably was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because like I remember in that moment, like that was the moment where I was just like, this school is so, and the fact that the faculty
didn't do anything.
That just goes to show how that school is. You would think a fucking teacher would step in and be like, hey, that's not okay.
No.
Nobody said anything.
They all knew what he was talking about. Everybody did. And yeah, I acted in ways I shouldn't have, but I was a kid.
You were a kid.
I was a kid. Like, it's different in adulthood now if I acted like that, but like that's just like insane to me how that people let that slide.
And I think that these kids were these kids that went to this school, I'm going to bounce on to this now, but they're so sheltered, so if anything out of the ordinary happens to them, it's a constant talk about.
It's a constant shock.
Which is why me and Sam kept getting brought into the equation. Like, for instance, me and Sam left after, to go to high school, right? They were still talking about us. Emily's having sex with this person. Oh my god.
Sam's talking to this guy. Blah, blah, blah,
like, literally, it was constantly like a fucking...
It could be a guy from a school in, like, Lone Tree. Like, and they'd still be talking about it because all those schools were, like, in cahoots with each other. Well, don't even get me started on high school and Holy Family and stuff. I have to be on that, but that's for another time.
It was just so out of control to the point where it was like...
People were stalking us.
It was stalking. There was fucking bullying online. There was fucking anything you could think of to hurt some innocent kid, it was happening at that fucking school. And nobody was saying a fucking thing about it. And that's the main reason why we want to make this YouTube video today, because
This is our review to PRA. This is our review to Prospect Ridge Academy. 1 fucking star. Actually, no. 0 stars, but I can only do 1 star. So, not that anybody's gonna fucking respond to those reviews.
And everybody at that school that was, like, a part of that and fucking, being a part of that fucking bullying, fuck you on so many fucking levels. I don't give a fuck how old you were. You still knew what you were fucking doing, and
it's so funny, too, because, like, I worked at the Safeway off of Lowell 136, so I saw everybody there in high school. Haley Schalk walks in, and she's like, me and Sam are really tight in high school. And I was like, that's how you want to put it?
Do you want to talk about her?
I mean, I might as well. I don't know why I was looking for validation from her or approval. Like, if she sees us, she sees us. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I really don't care either way. Like, I thought she was nice, and I was so gullible and naive. And I've gone to her house a couple times, and they treated me like an outcast, like I'm literally a black sheep in that equation. Where did my Enjoy go? Oh, here it is. But I swear, she'd talk about it and be like, it's so weird. Like, she was obsessed with me. Like, I was just a kid trying to make friends. The only real one I met out of her was Kylie McConnell. Love you, girl. Like, I hung out with them. I hung out with Haley and then Kylie McConnell, and I thought it was Kylie Freeze. I was like, oh, hi, Kylie. And Kylie McConnell turns around. She's so nice, so sweet. She didn't go to Prospect Ridge. You are so lucky for that. But she was so sweet and opening to me. And we started hanging out more. And we hung out for a long time. But long story short, Haley would go back, talk about it, make fun of me, apparently. I didn't know about this. You knew. You have a sixth sense about that stuff. And you were trying to protect me, and I was just not, like, buying it, I guess. But that just goes to show, like, everybody who's done you dirty, and I'm not like holding a grudge or anything, like I could care less now, but it's just insane to me how like people like that were my friend. And then I had real friends like you who I didn't pay attention to, and that makes me sad sometimes because, like, looking back at it, I'm like, I had M, and I just think I wanted approval from people. I went to a new school, hoping to, like, make new friends and start over again. Not knowing who I was a big part of it, so I was just, like, erratic.
Well, and you were a kid, like
I
you
was a
said.
kid.
And I feel like, I felt that same way. Like, I felt like I needed to talk to other people too, and like that were definitely not the right path.
No.
But we were kids and we were innocent. We didn't know what the fuck was going on, and it's sad at the end of the day. But you know what?
We are who we are now.
Yeah, fuck it. So, yeah, I didn't really talk to Haley that much. I don't really have anything to say about her other than the fact that I knew that she was kind of fake and like her whole friend group was fake. And Kendall, I'm not gonna say their last names. Kendall was another. She was fucking crazy.
Especially, like, I heard in like high school she's done things.
She's fucking nuts. Like, she's this mega like Trump supporter, and yeah, and she was just like constantly like being a pick me and like trying to start shit. Like, I remember like her like always asking me questions about Haley and like trying to like start shit. I'm like, girl, like, who the fuck are you?
Who was your art teacher? He seemed chill.
Oh, fuck, what was his name?
He seemed really chill.
He was really chill.
Like you.
I was in an art class with Haley and Kendall, and an art class with both of them, and they were constantly like, I don't know, I felt like Kendall was kind of like always trying to be like Haley's little sidekick, and it was just like not cute.
It was not giving. And I just remember, like, one thing I remember too is like how, what was it? How Danielle and Kendall would carpool for some reason.
Yeah.
And I remember she would treat Danielle differently and then see Haley and then push her to the side.
Yeah. That's just how Kendall was.
Yeah. But I also kind of want to talk about Danielle too. Her parents, if she didn't have those parents, she'd be way different.
Yeah.
But I just remember asking her to the school dance. And I was like, hey, like, do you want to go to the dance? I didn't mean as like a couple. I was like, as friends. She straight up went, ew, no. I was like, and I straight up, my response to that was like, wow. I said it right in front of her too. I was like, okay, you could have just said no, thank you.
Right.
And she's like, I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, I straight up was like, I know what you meant. And I walked away. And, it's just like crazy to me though, like how I don't get it. All these people were so like awestruck to see a black person at school or any sort of person who is different.
They saw me as a slut.
They saw me as a faggot, hard NE, all of that. They saw me as the cotton picker of the group. But it's just like insane to me how they were able to like get away with all that behavior.
Yeah.
And all the parents there were just not helpful.
They did not
at
help.
all.
Yeah, I don't know why, but well, I do know why. But I mean, in the middle school, I remember like I've always like I wanted a boyfriend like so bad, like in middle school, and like every guy like always just saw me as like this like dorky looking girl.
Okay, can we talk about him next too? Kaden Hartgroves.
Yeah,
we'll talk about this first.
But I always wanted a boyfriend like so bad, right? And like I just remember like feeling so ugly, and like all these girls were like so skinny and like blonde, and I was just like this fucking nerd. That's what I thought.
Nerd.
I thought that. And I remember, like...
They were all basic, that's why.
And once I hit, like, sophomore, junior year is when all those PRA guys just started hitting me up and being like, "You're so hot.
No, literally.
Please fuck me."
I remember, so like, apparently this guy. Kaden! Tristan! Luca! Bonjour! Anyway, no, but I remember this is kind of like a gay, like, / me being me, like, because this was just like a me liking men type experience.
Yeah.
It was that guy, what was his name? Dominic?
Yeah.
Apparently he's a convicted rapist now. Ew. But we used to hang out a lot. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was like 6th grade. He was like in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Red flag once. But it kind of opened up like a door for me. I'm like, maybe I like men.
Thanks, Tom. No.
Ew. But I did at that time find him attractive, and we were like hugging and like getting all like, you know, like not like sex or anything, but like it was something a straight guy or like, you know, like it's something a guy like him wouldn't be doing. And he seemed to be different.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
But that's when I kind of like was like, ooh, maybe I like men. But I didn't really think about it afterwards because I was like, where'd he go? Like whatever. But and Jordan, redhead, you know who I'm talking about. He was giving off just a little bit. But everybody who was like, once I was like comfortable, everybody who migrated from Prospect Ridge to Legacy was like, you're so hot. You know, you make this person's dick hard. Like, blah, blah, blah.
I like how it just all changed when we like grew up, like, and they fucking treat us like absolute dirt in fucking middle school.
And then they tried getting at us, like, either like in high school or after high school.
Yeah. But we want to talk about this, the obsession, and this is what I was saying before, of like everybody sharing men in that school.
Girl.
Is
the recycling. This ain't reduce, reuse, recycle. This is disgusting and weird.
Yeah.
Like, let's say Haley and Kaden were dating, they'd break up, and then
Kendall would go with them.
Girl. And then it would be like, ooh, like Hannah and Antoine.
Yeah.
They'd break up and then go with like, I don't know, like fucking this person and that person.
Yeah.
Like, and it would just constantly like be a pattern of jump, 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 jump.
Yep.
Jump between pre-pull, jump between this, that. So they pretty much trade off, and it's like weird.
I know.
To me. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And it was always like a certain group of men.
Always
boys.
a certain group of boys.
Kaden.
James. Can we talk about the Prospect Ridge match accounts?
Yeah.
Okay.
We briefly brought it up before, but we had like these match accounts on Instagram, and a few people had them, like doing it, and
Should you spill?
and I had one.
she made one.
I did make one.
They'd pair me up with the grossest people though, just because I'm me.
The way that I made one, I specifically remember this though. I made that one because I wanted to match myself with Owen. So you would get that.
Please! No, because like I wish we could find that account.
I know.
I mean, I think it's still up.
Yeah,
you just gotta remember which one.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there was match accounts and like everybody was matching each other with whoever, and you know,
I was matched with Kristen and Liz.
And I feel like a lot of schools had those accounts.
Oh, 100%, like Barstool like accounts, like meme accounts, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just remember like Haley with Kaden, big surprise, or like Allie with James, which still boggles my mind. Do you remember TJ?
Yeah.
I kind of had a crush on him.
Yeah, so did I.
But he was obsessed with Lily.
He was Lily?
Not Lily F. Lily. The other one.
Bats?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I remember because like he would be like, I have a crush on you, Lily, and it'd be like an English class, and I was like,
Ew.
why though? Why though?
Yeah.
But okay, like and then like everybody in that school too. Like, let's talk about the gatekeeping. Lily F. Can I say her full name?
I mean, if you want.
I'll just stick with Lily F. She'd be like, I remember DMing her. This was like in 2020. I was like, oh, I really like your feed. Like, what do you do? I don't really share that. Girl, I can do it. I can replicate it. It's just a little bit more difficult, but I will do it. And I did it. But it was just like
She
stuff like
couldn't
that.
just like make it easy.
And then she like, I looked at her Insta recently, and it's just like, this is thrifted in Italy, and this is thrifted in France. Speaking of France.
So we have a story about this girl named Holly, and she went to Prospect Ridge as well. And I was closer with her than you were.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, me and her best friend.
Her mom called the cops on me.
So we were like prank calling her one night, and I guess
I was like, because you were telling me how she was like bullying you.
She was bullying me. Like she broke my phone. She was making fun of outfits that I would wear. She was like saying I was so uncool because my Instagram feed wasn't good enough. Like
what's
shit
good
like
enough
that.
On an Instagram feed?
Like,
tell me,
girl,
because it ain't hers. I can
Who
tell
has
you
more
that much.
followers now, babe?
Anyway. But her fucking, I straight up was like, listen, bitch, you do not bully my best friend or whatever along those lines. And her mom, I don't know what I did wrong. I swear I used *67. I swear. I promise you. I'm more clever than that sometimes. Probably not. But her mom FaceTimes me like 4 times. I answer the phone, and I'm just like, as her mom's like screaming at me, I'm calling the police. And I'm just like, okay. I went to Westlake. This was 8th grade.
Which is a different middle school.
Different middle school. And this bitch finds my school. I had to go into the police station. The police office at the school, because apparently other schools have that, and prospectors are just too privileged. Anyway, they were like, you can't be doing that. And I was like, but the mom's a lunatic.
Oh, she was crazy.
And the cop was like, yeah, I kind of picked that up. I was like, I straight up told him, I was like, I'm just sticking up for my friend.
Yeah.
I didn't threaten or anything. I just said, listen here, don't fucking bully my friend.
Well, her mom was like very sue happy. Like she would always threaten to sue people. Like I remember like being like
she threatened to sue me.
Like I remember like being a kid and like we would be driving in her car and she'd be like, I'm gonna sue them if like they hit me. Like I'm gonna sue this person. I'm gonna sue. Like it was so sue happy. It was like, girl, like just say you need money, okay?
She's fucking racist too.
She's racist and she's a Republican.
Yeah.
And
so is her little daughter.
Yeah. And I don't know, like Holly was a bad bully though. Like she
took it far from what you told me.
She pushed me off the trampoline one time and that's
you
my
told me
sciatic
about
pain.
That.
I still have sciatic pain because of that. She did literal permanent damage to my back because she pushed me off the trampoline.
You have a bar in your back.
Yeah. I had to get surgery. And I know like her mom knew too because her mom was like writing out a check. She wrote out a check to like fix my phone to my mom. And then like
your mom was a real one when she was like helping me.
My mom also sent like Holly's mom sent a letter to my mom like apologizing for Holly's behavior towards me. And it was just like shit like that. It was like a constant like back and forth. Like everybody knew Holly was bullying.
Well, and your mom, like I said, your mom was a real one. She called Holly's mom. I don't know what she said, but Holly's mom backed off. And Renee even knew. She's like, I knew you were sticking up for M. I knew it. Like, and that's kind of when I realized your mom was like my second mom.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, so you get it. And then my mom and then M's mom started talking. And it was just like, my mom was like, you went into the police? Why didn't you tell me? And I was like, because I didn't want you to know, and you've been through, because this is when my mom was going through so much as is.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I get that. And this is when your mom and my mom were on the phone. And they were just talking about it, and they were like, well, you're going through a lot, so I get why Sam didn't tell you, and that's what your mom told my mom. But it's just like things like that were traumatizing.
Yeah.
Even out of Prospect Ridge, I was still traumatized. Still traumatized now.
Yeah,
kind of. Not really, but like
I mean, I definitely
for legitimate reasons.
Yeah.
I think I'm not good enough still.
Yeah. Same. They definitely did some brainwashing. I can't even imagine for the students that stayed there after us.
The people that graduated through that school, to the people I actually like care about and liked, how did you unlearn so many things? It took me years to unlearn things.
Yeah. I feel like that all just concludes like with the
bullying from peers and faculty.
Yeah.
Trauma, just people in general.
Yeah. It's just insane.
And then like the racism and the sexism and the fucking sexualizing of minors and all that stuff. It's just not it.
I can't believe that school is still like even
running.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they have a school down the street who's probably competing with them and getting a lot more students because they're probably way more diverse than Prospect Ridge is. Because I got looks from the get-go when I first started that school.
Yeah. Wrote our reviews on Prospect Ridge if you want to go look at them on Google review.
And if you want to write a review, go ahead. We're not stopping you. But
I think that kind of sums up today on like PRA and, you know, kind of what we went through in our story. And if anybody else went to that school and wants to reach out and tell us your part, we'd love to hear. Watching this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Ready?
Thanks for watching the Unfiltered Femmes. Love you. Bye.